Well, howdy partners. Welcome back to the Video Cowboy. Today, I thought we'd talk about this guy.
The Rifleman. Starring Chuck Connors.
Ah, that's Chuck Connors as the Rifleman. Who can forget that? Chuck Connors, a really interesting guy. Born Kevin Connors in Brooklyn, New York, and he was a fine athlete before he was an actor. And he tried out for the Boston Celtics. In fact, he was on the inaugural team of the Boston Celtics. And boy, was he a beast at 6'5" or 6'6", depending on whose statistics you want to believe. And at almost 240 pounds, he dominated on the hardwoods. In fact, Chuck Connors is credited with the first NBA player to have shattered a backboard. Now, he liked playing basketball, but he was born in Brooklyn and he grew up idolizing the Brooklyn Dodgers. So he wangled a tryout with the Dodgers, and sure enough, they signed him to a minor league contract, and he kicked around the Dodgers minor league organization for some time. Eventually, he played a lot of his games in Montreal, and a lot of folks believe that he did play for the Dodgers. Well, he did, but just one game. You see, the Dodgers already had a first baseman, and that guy's name was Gil Hodges. So Chuck saw that he didn't have a big future playing first base for the Brooklyn Dodgers. He asked for a trade, and this is where his life changed, because they traded him to the Cubs. Well, the Cubs minor league team was in Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Angels. And while playing there, he became the darling of the Hollywood set. As a matter of fact, one of his biggest fans was a guy you may have heard of named Spencer Tracy. Well, he did get called up to the majors in that situation, and the fact of the matter is, he played 66 games for the Chicago Cubs. He hit .239, only hit 2 home runs, so Chuck thought that maybe his Major League Baseball career was over. He headed back to Los Angeles and tried his hand at acting, and his very first movie was a Tracy Hepburn classic called Pat and Mike. And it wasn't too long after that before he landed the role in The Rifleman. Now, he had another series later called Branded, but he'll always be known as The Rifleman and firing that gun in that open. Let's talk about that for just a moment, partners. How many shots does he fire? That's one thing. A lot of folks have tried to count, even slow down the video to count them. And secondly, remember I told you the back of his baseball card says he bats left, throws left, and he's firing this gun right-handed. Or is he? Because there's also another open to the Rifleman. A lot of folks have never seen this. Take a gander at this. Now he's shooting his rifle left-handed. There are a lot of scenes and pictures in the show where he shot either way. A lot of folks said he was ambidextrous. I don't know. I'm not even sure we know what that means, but that's Chuck Connors. He is one of only 13 people to have ever played in the NBA and played Major League Baseball. But he's the only one that starred in The Rifleman. And by the way, for you trivia buffs out there, the early days of The Rifleman, some of the shows were written by and directed by and created by a guy you may have heard of named Sam Peckinpah. Well, Peckinpah was having arguments with the producers because they thought he was too violent. Can you imagine that? Sam Peckinpah being too violent? So here's to Chuck Connors, the Rifleman. Well, until next time, hasta la vista vaqueros. I'll be seeing you, Wranglers.